How do we
in that
do
goal.
a self-evaluation? Sometimes we do this talking about different subjects and things, but is there some way you can do a self-evaluation even as we're sitting here talking? Because everyone might have in mind what their pay packet looks like. Some are going to be healthier than others. Some are going to be, right there on the, I'm just struggling to survive. And that's a challenging place to be.
is.
Someone else is going to be saying, well, I've got myself on a pretty, good level of salary, more than I need to live. The issue of, and I guess if you broke that down and said greed versus generosity or consumer versus disciple, and if you're making a sort of a self-evaluation in here, how do you see that if you're thinking about your pay packet? You were saying, you can limit your pay packet even though you might have a bigger capacity to do so. So how do you actually get a bit of an evaluation here as to what that ought to be?
Yeah. Well, I guess in my book I talk about an objective benchmark, one being minimum wage. So you can look at what minimum wage is in Australia and you can compare yourself to that, how much you're spending. That's if you're, without dependents. And then you can look at median wage as well. And then you can look at average wage. So that's 3 objective benchmarks that you can compare yourself to. And I sort of suggest for people, think about, if you're single without dependent, think about living on minimum wage. But if you've got dependents, you might think about, and if you're in a family, you might think of 2 people on median wage. Once we get above average age, we could be becoming through our money habits more sophisticated consumers rather than more mature disciples. And if our if our money's flowing in that direction, it's very easy for our hearts to drift into our things, into our stuff, and into our lifestyle rather than to the people and the mission that God's called us in.